And what's going on, guys? This is the Club with the Man 1993 coming at you for another live Raw review as we take a look back at Monday Night Raw from tonight, November 27th, 2017, in Knoxville, Tennessee. We'll take a look back, as always, at everything that happened on Raw and talk about this as we are, for Raw, somewhat on the road to the Royal Rumble, even though it's not noticed. But I feel like we may also be on the road just to the build for the 25th anniversary of Raw, which will take place in January. I can't remember the exact date, but it will take place in January. And overall, what I think the show, decent show, had some good moments, had some bad moments. Main events really didn't really faze me too well. I really felt the Intercontinental title match between Roman Reigns and Elias should have been the main event. That would have been better than what we got. But without further ado, let's get into it. The live chat is open. Please leave your thoughts in the live chat and your comments, whatever, and let's get rolling. So we opened up with Roman Reigns coming out to his normal theme music, coming out with the Intercontinental title as he won the Intercontinental title off of The Miz last week in Houston. He says it's no surprise last week was a big week for him because the Shield reunited since he returned from his illness. They went to Survivor Series and beat the New Day, and next day he won your Continental title after cashing in an opportunity, and he acknowledged that you deserve it, chance saying that it means a lot to him. And then, of course, he also shows what happens after Raw went off the air last week, which was when the Shield triple power bombed The Miz. Wait. So you listen to your audience, Mike? Is that what you do? Then where are my Ruby Riot ice cream bars? Oh man, Robbie, give me a chuckle as always. What's up, man? Good to see you in the live chat. Anyways, so last week after Raw went off the air, The Miz was just ranting on the mic, and then he says, "I'm The Miz and I'm awesome." Oh shoot! He turns around, he knows he's doomed, and he gets triple power bomb through the announce table, pretty much writing him off Raw because I didn't know that him and Becky Lynch and HBK are going to be taking some, well, not really HBK, but Miz and Becky Lynch are taking some time off to film a movie. So good luck to them. So Roman says the obvious. We're not going to be seeing Miz for a while, but we're going to be seeing a lot of this title. And how Miz may say a lot of stupid stuff, but that title is still prestige. And he says it's going to continue to be. And the rules are simple. If you want this, you're going to have to come and get it. Take a step up to it. So pretty much saying, the open challenge is back. Well, an open challenge for your title. So that makes you think, okay, because I was cool with with Roman winning the Intercontinental title. The only thing I ask is have him defend it. Because if you do, just like we did with his U.S. title run last year, he barely defended it at all, then it's going to be horrible. But if he defends it, I have no problem being Intercontinental champion. So then the Miz's music hits, and I'm thinking, Miz really here? I thought I was taking time off. But out comes the Miz Taraj. And Bo Dallas says, how dare you disrespect the most must-see Intercontinental champion of all time, The Miz. And Ash says the only thing that's worse than the pain in his neck is the pain in his heart seeing him carry that title. He says there are no place to take advantage of this challenge, but I know somebody who will. And we hear the guitar ring and hears, "Hello, my name is Elias." He comes out saying, I will sing a song later, but I'm going after your Intercontinental Championship tonight. So that sets up the match. As Roman Reigns is going to walk with Elias later on tonight. And then he says, but first take a look at Axel. He says, I hope you can sing with a neck brace on because after tonight you may need one. So sets up our, well, I was hoping for a main event, but it wasn't our main event. But sets up for our 10 o'clock hour match later on tonight. As the WWE seems to tend to sometimes, the match I feel should be the main event as being the 10 o'clock hour match. They don't give a crap about that third hour. And it showed, well, kind of somewhat showed for the most part tonight because the show did not end on a good note, as I said before. We then get this match. It was Cesaro taking on Seth Rollins. No Sheamus or Dean Ambrose tonight. Sheamus is back home in Dublin visiting his family, while Dean Ambrose and Renee Young are apparently on their honeymoon. So congratulations to them as well. And Sheamus, hope you're deserving some well-deserved time off with your family. And this match, it was a fun match. I keep saying this is a match that I feel should be a world title feud. These two work very well together. I love that one move wherever I think Rollins was on the apron and he did like a leg drop on top of Cesaro. That was pretty awesome. There was 2 commercials though in this match. That's one thing I did not like. Rollins had hit a Falcon Arrow on Cesaro as well, kicked out of that. But then eventually he would hit the ripcord knee strike though on Cesaro to get the victory. And so again, it was a solid match. I enjoyed it. Again, I would love to see these two feud for the world title someday. It would be a great main event feud, I feel. These two work really well together, great chemistry. I actually thought that was going to happen last year when Balor vacated the championship, and I thought Rollins was going to win it in the Fatal 4-Way, and then Cesaro was going to win the Best of 7 series. I thought, oh, that would be a great way to set up that match for Universal title, Seth Rollins and Cesaro. I actually think I predicted that in my Clash of Champions predicted card last year, but that didn't happen, unfortunately, as Triple H turned on Seth Rollins and KO won the title, and we're not going to talk about that run. But then Seth Rollins wins after hitting the ripcord knee strike on Cesaro. Afterwards, he's being interviewed, asking since it seems like Dean Ambrose is on his honeymoon, Roman Reigns got the Intercontinental title. Does this mean that that the Shield are going their own directions? And Raw's like, oh, hell no. They're only doing that tonight because Dean is on his honeymoon, and he says, I actually should go check on him, saying, he's like, hoping old Dino's all right. But he said, Roman winning the title is going to separate them, it's only going to bring them closer together. And he said, thinking about it, though, since Dean got a victory over Sheamus last week, and we got a victory over Cesaro tonight, I think it's time that they invoke the rematch clause next week. So we will be getting the rematch next week for the Raw tag titles. I kind of hope this is the last match between these two teams. I mean, they do awesome matches together, but I want to see Seth and Dean fight some fresh opponents, which Roman's hoping to get that with the Intercontinental title open challenge if he keeps doing that. Probably get that, so we'll get that next week. I feel like there's going to be some stipulation to it, though. Would be nice to have, not just another just a normal match. Add some type of stipulation to blow off this feud. As I keep saying, have them win the titles back, and then they drop them to the Revival. Even though I'm just questioning now because I don't know if I want to see the Shield have break up due to a heel turn. I thought that'd be the same thing. We just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. They were going to reunite them again someday. I feel like if they do it a second time, it's not going to mean much to get them back together again. Because again, what could happen again? The same exact thing. But again, I don't want to take away from the match. It was a fun match. Again, I hope to see these guys in a world title feud someday in the main event. We'll see what happens. And then we have backstage, we have Rich Swann, Akira Tozawa, and Mustafa Ali. Oh, and Cedric Alexander talking to Kurt Angle about wanting an opportunity for the Cruiserweight Championship with the Zoe trainers lurking around. And Angle admits that he may have let the Cruiserweight division go after everything had gone with Survivor Series. Enzo may be champion, but he doesn't call the shots. He says, we're going to decide a number one contender by having 2 fatal 4-ways over the next 2 weeks. And the winners of those 2 will face each other in a number one contenders match in 3 weeks. And then they would eventually face Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight Championship. So we get one of those fatal 4-ways later on tonight. And funny thing is, they say, I forgot about the Cruiserweight division. Hasn't anybody forgot about the Cruiserweight division because of how bad it is? Like, what's the point anymore? Who cares? It's like the Divas division. Like, you're going through all these watching all these WrestleManias, and I just knowing how between WrestleManias 23 and 30, which I just finished, I'll be reviewing that after I do this review. I noticed how pointless the Divas division felt. That's exactly what the Cruiserweight division feels like right now. Nothing matters at all to Cruiserweights. So we're gonna get that fatal 4-way next. Then we went a commercial. Then we came back to a match between Samoa Joe and Titus O'Neil. Mostly just a squash match. Titus wanted to try to get his revenge on Samoa Joe for putting both him and Apollo in the Coquina Clutch last month. And once again, Joe pretty much squashes him. He submits, gets Titus to submit to the Coquina Clutch. Afterwards, Apollo Crews gets in the ring and tries to stand up for his mentor. He goes to throw an enziguri, but Apollo swung and missed. Joe ducked, and then he put Apollo into the lock. Again, Apollo looked like a joke, because I just continue to feel bad for Apollo because he deserves so much more than he gets. But Same time, Joe Canada looking strong, so I can't quite complain. So that's what happens. And then, of course, we get the Cyber Monday promo with the club, or the Good Brothers, whatever you want to call them now, promoting some stuff. Those cover commercials are not meant for the club, as we learned last year with the old day. Comedy is not for the club. The club needs to be mean guys, not calling people a bunch of nerds. So whatever, not going to talk about that commercial. Then we had the hype for this next match, which was supposed to be a 6-woman tag match with Mickie James, Bayley, and Sasha Banks taking on the team of Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. I was very interested to hear what Paige was going to say tonight, because she did not get to explain herself last week. So they hyped the match. Sasha Banks makes her entrance, but then they play both Mickie James and Bayley's music, but neither of them make their entrance. And then Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville enter. And of course, Paige takes the mic saying, "Oh, Sasha looks surprisingly good for the beating you took last week. But where are your friends?" Then we look backstage and we see, both Mickie and Bayley just knocked down in pain. I think Mickie was clutching onto her ankle. Bayley was clutching onto her neck or shoulder, whatever. Paige, I guess it's a handicap match. But just first, I need to address something. She pretty much just goes on to explain her actions, as people have been hounding her everywhere, asking her why she did that. And what she said, I was hoping to say, which to me reminded me of what they were going with in 2015 when she turned heel and broke up Team TCB. But then they pulled the plug on that, put her back to being a babyface, and she was completely directionless. This is, of course, where they all make sense. And I'm glad they're going with this direction with Paige. She said it was pretty clear over a year ago, she was the woman. She was the one who stuck the flag in the ground and single-handedly erased the word diva from the WWE dictionary. She was the matriarch of the women's revolution. And lastly, she was making a statement to just prove to everyone who she really is, as she felt that, she was overlooked. And it's true, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, all of them, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, well, not really Naomi, but all these NXT talents that came up after the whole women's revolution started, they came up, but really it was Paige, the one who started it. And she gathered up people, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, who pledged to that allegiance and believed it. They're calling themselves Absolution. And so they both surround Sasha and pretty much just say, "So, do you want to, pledge your allegiance to Paige and admit I'm the one who really started all this? I'm really the one who has made the biggest difference in the women's division, and not you?" So again, that's why Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose are with her. So then they gave Sasha a chance, but then Sasha just went after and attacked them. They both beat them down. Because as Mandy and Sonya both said, before there was a boss, the 4 horsewoman, the goddess, or an empress, there was Paige. But they didn't mention anything though about. After the beatdown, of course, they each hit their finishers. Sonya with that roundhouse kick to her head. Rose hit the Angel's wings. I guess they're calling that finisher, which looks pretty similar to Beth Phoenix's Glam Slam, and then Paige finished her off with the Rampage. So I'm just wondering now, well, what will Ruby, Liv, and Sarah have to say tomorrow? Are they in this as well? Because Paige didn't say anything about those 3. But to me, it would make sense. Or again, are they just trying to outdo Paige and Paige, Mandy, and Sonya? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I just don't want this to be just 2 random factions just forming up. Paige could be behind both of them and making a statement, and Ruby, Liv, and Sarah could be doing Paige's dirty work on SmackDown as well, making statements against the likes of Natalya, Naomi, Becky, Carmella, and especially Charlotte too. Since Charlotte was the main one they attacked on SmackDown last week. So let's see what happens last night. But again, what Paige said, I'm all for it. What I expected to happen. Again, they should have kept going with that in 2015, even though her feud with Charlotte kind of went a little downhill, especially when she made that line leading up to their match at Survivor Series about Charlotte's late brother Reed. But then they pulled a plug on it. But I felt that, that was, a different alley they were going down, that more darker side of Paige. And it's true. I would be frustrated too. She was the one who started this whole women's revolution. She was the one who was looking to take the word diva out of the dictionary. She was the anti-diva. She's a woman. So she's a woman. I can't say women about that. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed this promo. I'm glad we got the explanation. And again, Paige wasn't able to get it out last week of her explanation of, why she did what she did. So then we got the thing we have on SmackDown. So again, I look forward to see what Ruby, Liv, and Sarah say tomorrow night on SmackDown Live. So then we have Bray Wyatt in the smoking room saying, I'm here. So then after commercial, he comes back, and I'm thinking, okay, what's next for the Eater of Pins? So he comes out, and he starts cutting this strange promo. He's never celebrated holidays as a kid. He didn't really care. But all of you guys care, and all you guys celebrate. And our entire world exists inside the confines of a cardboard box. They tell us what to do, what to buy, what to love, and who to beat. It's pathetic, really pathetic. He tried to show us the way, but we never listen. So then he just pretty much starts screaming that, we're all dead. He just keeps screaming for like God knows how long when. So I'm just like, okay, this makes no sense. But then Matt Hardy's music hit. I've been hearing some rumors. So I thought, okay, this could be somewhat interesting. This would be a good feud if they would go with a certain direction with Matt Hardy. So Matt Hardy comes out. They have a match. The match wasn't too bad, just hard hitting. Didn't go on too long. But Bray Wyatt, after doing the spider walk and of course probably freaking out Matt Hardy, as it's always tend to be. The person who had the best reaction, I think, to Bray Wyatt's spider walk was definitely John Cena at WrestleMania 30. I felt my pain. Again, I want to say that because I just watched that just today. But then he would eventually go on to hit the Sister Abigail on Matt Hardy to get the victory. And usually it goes follow the buzzards, and then it goes blacks out. But then black out, Bray just rolled out the win. I'm like, that's strange. And I've been hearing some rumors lately about some things. But then Matt is sitting in the corner and just clearly upset about the loss. And then he starts just throwing out and yelling, delete, 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 delete. And Michael Cole literally says, are we seeing the beginning of a Matt Hardy breakdown? I've heard some rumors that things are looking good to eventually get the broken gimmick to WWE. Is Matt Hardy slowly going broken here? So I actually found this very interesting. Again, despite the opening promo from Bray Wyatt not making any sense at all, his usual self, I'm like, this could be it. Matt Hardy could be becoming broken. So if it does come to WWE, please don't screw it up, Vince. Please do not screw up broken Matt Hardy. But let's see what happens in the upcoming weeks. We came back from commercial, and we had Jason Jordan backstage with Kurt Angle talking about how he's fine and he wants to silence his doubters and take out Kane. Angle's like, are you sure? He says yes. So then they make the match. Jason Jordan's going to take on Kane later on tonight. Now we had this one of the first number one contenders fatal four-way match for the number one contendership for the Cruiserweight Championship. It was Akira Tozawa, Arya Daivari, Noam Dar, and Rich Swann. There's only two things I remember from this match, guys. Well, first, the finish. I like the finish was pretty cool with Rich Swann doing that Phoenix Splash. That was pretty cool. Other than that, I did not care. And the only thing I remember was Noam Dar saying, choo choo. You know what happens, Noam Dar, when you say choo choo? You know what happens whenever you put on one of the worst feuds I've ever seen that might have killed the Cruiserweight division? Noam Dar, you've officially made the list. Oh, and also, you know what happens when a random stable forms that makes no sense? You know what happens when you are along with Enzo Amore after a few weeks earlier you were beating the crap out of him because you're all saying you hate him being in the cruiser division? You know what happens? Yeah, the Zoe train. You just made the list. So yep, had to add those things on there. But yeah, didn't care. Or those the only two things I remember was the Phoenix Splash and the Choo Choo by Noam Dar. But Rich Swann wins. I wonder if we're going to be getting Rich Swann taking on Cedric Alexander in the number one contenders match, because Alexander is in the qualifying match next week. I'm sure we're getting Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak, and Tony Nese. I would love to see Neville though return and get involved in this match, in the next match somehow. It's like, again, I've been hearing that there are cooler heads prevailing, but then again, maybe better if he doesn't. Maybe they'll actually put him in like the mid card title run, have him feud with Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental title. But we'll see what happens. Then we come back from commercial. Elias is out, which already I'm like, oh darn, we're not gonna get this as the main event. I was hoping it was gonna be the main event. He talked about how something about his mind with the Miz not being here tonight. He's healing up with his beautiful wife and his baby to be. Says, I'm going to dedicate this one to the Miz, and he sings a song about the Miz Taraj having been able to sleep for a while, but Elias will guide you. And then he said, don't remember a one-man show, but I'm going to do something special tonight. He brings up the Miz Taraj. They each go into doing harmonica solos, trading back and forth, and invites them to, endorse them, says to take a bow before launching a third song by himself. But then he stops, and as the crowd starts chanting for Roman, he says, right now, nobody wants Roman Reigns more than him, and he says, I'm ready for this match, pretty much. So, I know it was a little cheesy, the thing with the Miz Taraj playing the harmonicas, but it wasn't too bad. Somewhat entertaining. Roman makes his entrance, and we set up for this match. Elias taking on Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought this was a really good match. Especially, again, being an open challenge, Roman with him as mid-card champion, Elias, the upcoming star, getting his first title opportunity on the main roster. I thought it was pretty solid. I do like how they gave him a lot of time. Elias had some good moments on there as well. He had like a nice looking elbow drop. The Miz Taraj was on the outside, like still being in a corner for Elias. And then again, Roman would go on to win, but Elias was able to counter out of the spear once, I believe, before getting hit with it again. But again, he got a lot of offense in on Roman, a lot more than I thought. I thought it was going to be maybe like a 5 or 8 minute match or whatnot. But it got, I'd say, like a good 10, 15 minutes as well. One of the best matches I'd say Elias had on the main roster. Roman retains the Intercontinental Championship. Again, I'm cool with that. As long as he wins the title, I'm completely fine with it. And again, I think he put over Elias, and Elias lost, but Elias came out looking strong in the loss. So I'm completely cool with that. But then afterwards, I like this. I'm not sure if it's going to be his next challenger or if it's going to be an eventual actual pay-per-view. Like they're going to do this match like at the Royal Rumble or something like that. But afterwards, Reigns walking up the ramp. Out of nowhere comes Samoa Joe, doing what he used to always do, just come out of nowhere and start attacking people whenever he felt like it. And when he did that, he put Roman in the Coquina clutch on the ramp. And they're trying, I think Jamie Noble's out there, Fit Finlay was out there, and a few others, trying to, get him off of Roman. And then it seemed like he get cooled off. But, of course, Joe, he looks like he's happy and fine dandy one moment. And the next moment, he's running at you, beating the crap out of you. He goes back after Roman again. So it's obvious, again, that, Joe's coming after the Intercontinental title. So I don't know if it's going to be Roman's next challenger or if they're going to wait till, the Royal Rumble or even the 25th anniversary of Raw as well. So whatever happens, it's building towards something. But I definitely hope that Roman keeps this Intercontinental Open Challenge going. Again, I enjoyed the match tonight. He keeps doing this. I have no problem at all with Roman being Intercontinental Champion if he's going to defend the title. And Robbie in the live chat says, hey, Roman, Joe's going to kill you. Pretty much. I agree. And then, then we had a rematch from last week. Dana Brooke and Asuka. So before it showed Dana Brooke saying how everybody claims that nobody is ready for Asuka, but that's nonsense about a hole in her game. She's a slow starter, and when the bell rings, she's going to be right on her. The bell rings, Dana charges in, thinking Asuka won't be ready, and then Asuka just countered and got Dana to tap out to the Asuka lock, or just like an arm bar. Yeah, it was just a flying arm bar. So, plan did not work. Dana got destroyed by Asuka again. Robbie has some live chat here. It's a little bit of a secret. I can't say it out loud. I'll say this one. He says, "Hey, Dana, Asuka's going to kill you again." She sure did, Robbie. She sure did. I look forward to seeing when this comes out, Robbie. Again, not going to spoil it. But then I like this. I really like this. After the match, Absolution, Paige, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose made their way out, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna beat down Asuka right now, right in front of everybody, make a mark. But they just circled around the ring, and Asuka stood her ground, and then when Absolution backed off, Asuka smiled, and Paige waves, and Asuka left. So to me, I'm hoping that was Paige and Asuka exchanging what's going on. I'll see you at WrestleMania, because that's a match that needs to happen at WrestleMania. Paige as the Raw Women's Champion, taking on Asuka. Have Asuka win the title there and go on a nice lengthy title. I'd say keep the title for at least a year. Again, that first loss that Asuka suffers, make it mean something. Don't make it be just a random loss or anything. Make it mean something. So again, I thought that was cool. But then, the main event, or should I say the double main event, pretty much, if you want to put it that way, because I didn't understand this at all. So we had Jason Jordan make his entrance, and as soon as he grabbed the microphone, I'm like, crap, here we go. Jason Jordan on the mic. He mentions how, there's been a lot of speculation over his injury the past 2 weeks that he suffered. And a lot of people think I'm just trying to get out of a match against Braun Strowman, but that couldn't be any further from the truth. Last week, he slipped out the power slam, and he felt his knee pop, and he knew he couldn't continue. But thanks to WWE's world-class medical staff, a week of rehab, he thinks he's at 100%. And he's going to do what Braun couldn't do and shut down the big red machine. Whatever. Kane comes out, squashes Jason Jordan. Well, the match ended in a count out because Jordan fell outside the ring and he hurt his knee yet again. And Kane just went after the knee, and I'm looking at the clock. Okay, it's only 10:50. Something else is going to happen here. Again, I don't know if either Jordan legitimately did hurt his knee, which I highly doubt. I do believe this is kayfabe, and hopefully set up for a Jason Jordan heel turn or not. But then Finn Balor makes his way to the ring. And I had heard the rumors lately how Vince apparently isn't too high on Finn Balor anymore. I think he's bland, and he's probably going to be the next Dolph Ziggler, people are saying. Yeah, so he comes out. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here. The same thing happens, except Kane got disqualified for using a steel chair on Balor. What was the point of having Kane squash the two upcoming stars, well, Jason Jordan, who is probably in the midst of a heel turn, but Finn Balor, who is completely directionless right now. He just beat AJ Styles at TLC, and now you're giving him no direction again whatsoever? What sense does that make at all? Now they're not going to be giving him his title shot against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. He never got his rematch for dropping the title due to injury at SummerSlam 2016. That made me mad. So it looked like he was about to literally do a dive off the top rope with the chair around Balor's neck and probably just, break Balor's neck pretty much when Braun Strowman makes his return, and he comes down, and him and Kane pretty much just have a beat down, and then Braun gets the upper hand after last week whenever Kane smashed him into the steel steps with the chair around his neck, pretty much, giving Braun a hard time breathing. And then Braun did the same thing to Kane, because he did it twice on the steel steps with the chair. Kane rolled over the. I thought at first when he rolled over the barricade into the crowd, I thought at first he threw up. I honestly thought at first he threw up, but he didn't. but we just spent like the next 5 minutes of watching Kane walking away. I'm thinking, Knoxville, this is the man who at least was or still is running for mayor of your city. But that's how Raw ended. I thought it was. I would have much rather had Roman and Elias be the main event. I thought this was stupid, having two people job to two upcoming stars job to Kane. Sorry about that. Especially Finn Balor. That one pissed me off the most. But then Braun comes out, and this feud just, I don't get it. This feud is dragging on. I mean, what more do they want? I mean, the only thing I'm wondering is if they are building towards a buried alive match between these two, because that's what I'm hoping for. A buried alive match between Braun Strowman and Kane, especially after the whole thing with, Kane going through the ring. Maybe this will be Kane's retirement match in a buried alive match, and they do it at the 25th anniversary of Raw. That's what I'm thinking might be going on here. I'm not sure, but if that's the case, I don't want it to drag on and on and on and on and on and on and on for another month and a half. So that might be the case, guys. Wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not completely for it. But yeah, that main event wasn't really too good. I did not enjoy it. That's why, again, this show did have some good moments, but stuff like, the cruiserweight thing I didn't really like. What else was there that I didn't really like? The cruiserweight stuff. The main event. I was trying to think of what else there was, really. I can't remember now. It's been that long. But yeah, that's why I'm going to give this Raw a C+. Decent show. Had some good stuff. Had some bad stuff. Let's look at the polls really quick here. Well, I had 5 votes on my poll. Let me hit refresh just to make sure there's no more. Yep, just 5 votes. 40% said B, 20% said C, 40% said D. Nobody said A. So yeah, I gave Raw a C+ for tonight. What were your thoughts on tonight's episode of Raw? Please also leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and be sure to click that red like and subscribe on content on this channel. Follow me on Twitter, Demand Airboy 93. Again, I'm going to record my WrestleMania 30 retro review right as soon as I sign off this broadcast. So I will get that wrapped up. I have 3 more WrestleManias remaining to watch my retro review series. Before I would like to get back to some of my video games. I haven't played any of those in a while. And of course, tomorrow night I'll be back up here again to review SmackDown Live. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Until then, have a great night.